The Ballad of Johnny Arcane by Jim Nail, read by Jim Nail. Chapter 2, Johnny Loses His Voice. Part 1. And then, there it was. Simple, strong, and merciful. The wind-swept, rain-washed, sun-dried, bracing freedom of the open road. It ambushed him slowly as he rose from his anxiety and despondency and ascended into the scrub hills on the northbound road, the very path on which the messenger had arrived. Involuntarily, his steps grew lighter, his heartbeat stronger. At the crest, he stopped and caught his breath. He had been here before, but it had never looked like this. On the other side of the ridge, the eye view opened into a rich green valley, bound in the distance by a range of powder blue mountains. Rolling hills covered with healthy orchards, apples, pears, hazelnuts, grapevines heavy with purple fruit. Occasional small thatch roof houses nestled among shade trees. Wisps of fragrant smoke curled from chimneys. A new kind of joy overcame him. He didn't have a name for it. It propelled him down the road and into the valley. His thoughts grew light and skimmed the surface. Things once commonplace were imbued with a surprising beauty. A pond with ducks, where a rowboat sat idle. A fence leaning under the weight of morning glories. A water tower completely engulfed by a quilt of wild pink roses. Patterned rays of slanted sunlight through the ordered columns of an apple orchard. Beehives between the trees. The hum of bees. Johnny had no thoughts, only the delight of impressions. Dogs barked at him from porches, but did not approach. Midday he came upon a table and a bench by the side of the road. He sat here and drank some water and ate some of the dried cat meat Mother had packed. Ahead, on the road, a figure approached. A man, walking with a stick. A discomfort seeped into Johnny's stomach. At first he thought it was the food he had eaten, but no. All day he had spoken to no one. No one had approached him on the road, passing from either direction. So deep had been the quiet of his mind and the joy of his traveling, that the thought of conversing with another person felt like a heavy burden. The man stopped in the road and looked at Johnny while the dust swirled up behind him. While his dust swirled up behind him. Then he continued. He walked with a limp. One leg dangled lifelessly and touched the ground only with the cadence of the stick. He wore khaki clothing and a beret. On his arm, the distinctive red band of the messenger. He halted in front of the table, smiled, but said nothing. Johnny spoke. Messenger. Sojourner. The word fell like an ice cube into Johnny Arcane's soul. I just started today. he replied. The man nodded, then pointed his stick to the bench by the table. Move over. Let an old man rest his bones. Johnny moved over, offered his canteen. Water? Messenger drank deeply, wiped his slobber off on his sleeve, then turned and looked Johnny straight in the face. It's a lonely life it's a lonely lot this life has dealt you, son. The world, as we know it, don't shuck much corn with the sojourner. They don't want to know what the sojourner knows. There's a veil o' ignorance what keeps us happy. You got anything there to eat? Johnny offered him some cat meat. The man chewed it silently, his eyes fixed on the vineyard across the road. I respect them, though. Sojourners. I just couldn't be one. Going home to Honeydew now, to see my sweet harmony and my little melody. It's good work, messengering. You learn just enough to know, but not enough to grieve. Lots of sojourners start out by being messengers. You memorize the lay of the land and the borders. Masticate on that sometimes, son. It might do you some good. The messenger rubbed his hands together and spat something brown and viscous into the dust. Much obliged for the victuals. Let me give you something in return. He dug in his coat pocket and produced a small amber vial sealed with wax. Keep it hid, he said. Only take it if the pain is so strong you can't go on. Powerful medicine, but it don't last forever. Then he hobbled to his feet, tipped his hat, smiled a toothless grin, and continued on his way.